Welcome back. I'm Harlan, your backyard grill sergeant, here to take your grilling to the next level. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your own fire starters for completely free. Let me give you a little bit of backstory about what motivated me to make this video for you. Well, in the past, you've probably seen me when I'm starting up my smoker. I take one of these chimneys, I fill it with charcoal, and then I take what's left of a bag from a charcoal, and I crumple it up, put it under, start the fire, and do it that way. Well, after doing it for quite a while, one thing that I noticed is sometimes I have a little bit of trouble keeping the paper lit or just getting it to start. Sometimes it's a little slower than I would like. Last Christmas, this past Christmas, my parents gave me some Weber fire starters. They were little wax cubes, and they had some sort of alcohol infused into them, and I tried those, and those things work amazing. I actually took and put them, and they light instantly, and they get the fire going. I actually highly recommend using those. The only problem that I had is that when I used them all up, I actually went to purchase some more, and they were a little bit more expensive than what I kind of wanted. So I wanted to be able to do something that's kind of equivalent to that or close to that, but for completely free. So here we go. Okay, you're gonna need a few supplies to do this, all right? So as you can see, I got this dirty, yucky table that you're staring at the moment. Well, this is my utility table that I like to do projects on, that something might be a little bit yucky for my wife's countertops. Well, I use this instead, so I'm not making her angry. So you're gonna need a paper towel tube or a toilet paper tube. You're going to need some dryer lint. You're going to need a coffee can. This is actually a Cafe Bustelo coffee can. It's metal. Make sure you have a metal can. And then you're going to need some candle wax. As you can see, the wax is already melted inside this can because I've done this project already, but I have some wax left over that I'm going to remake some more fire starters. But really all you need is just take some scrap candles. Just ask your wife if she has any candles that are left over, you know, that melt down and there's a little bit of wax left over. You can use that. I try not to use scented wax but it really doesn't matter for this project. You can use scented candles if you want. And then also you're going to need some aluminum foil. That's really just for easy cleanup. Okay, this is not completely required if you have a table surface like this. Also, safety, you're going to need some gloves, some leather gloves, and some scissors. Okay, so let's get started. What you're going to do is you're going to take your paper towel tube and you're going to cut about an inch and a half piece of paper towel tube like this. Okay, so as you can see, you know, that's my finger relative to how much I cut off. And then you're going to take your dryer lint and stuff it inside the tube like that. All right, and then as you can see, it's kind of poking out, so you just kind of have to work it in there like this. And now you have a little piece of paper towel tube filled with dryer lint. Next, you got to melt the wax, so let's go do that. Okay, let's talk about the coffee can for a second. As you can see, there's a little lip right here that I took and cut out of the rim of the coffee can. If you were to take and put wax into this can, and then you can see right here this lip, if you were to melt the wax and then try to pour it out, it would just build and then slosh over. So I just took a pair of tin snips and cut a little piece out of the lip right here, so that when I'm pouring the wax, okay, it gives me a spout basically to pour the wax. Now I will tell you that you do not need a lot of heat to melt the wax, okay? If you're doing this inside on a stove, you need to have your stove set to the absolute lowest setting possible. I'm actually outside right now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put the can of wax onto my fire pit like this, because I'm running the smoker right now. I'm making some baby back ribs for dinner. So we'll just let this wax melt, and we'll be back in a minute. This is the part where the leather gloves come in handy, because that can full of melted wax is hot, and if you touch it with your bare hand, you will burn yourself. So put your gloves on, and as you know, let's take a look here. There we go. As you can see, the wax is starting to get all nice and melty in there. There's a little bit of wax left to melt, so I'm just going to let that finish melting, and then we'll be right back. As you can see here, the wax is now completely melted and it's ready to use. Okay, now that you have your wax all melted, all you do is you just take and pour it into the paper towel tube with the dryer lint like this. Now, you want to make sure you get it nice and soaked in there. One thing that I have noticed through experience of making these is that the amount of wax that you use matters. So if you use just a little bit of wax, they won't burn very long. So I like to get them soaked in there as much as I can. And basically, I don't know if you can see it, but the wax has started oozing out the bottom of the paper towel tube. So I would say that's about full. So now just let it cool down and it's ready to go. Now, as you can see, this is actually still pretty hot. Let me just, yeah, it's still pretty hot. The wax is not hardened yet, so I'm gonna actually take and demonstrate. This is one that I made previously, so let's take it over to the fire pit and show you how they work. All right, I'll show you how relatively easy these are to light. This is just, and they light about the same as a candle, I would say. Maybe a little. I'm just lighting the edge of the paper towel tube like that. Oh, see, it's going out a little bit, but give it a little bit more. There we go. See, you can see that wasn't too bad to get lit. Now we'll see how long it takes. Let me see what time it is. It is currently 10:02, and we have just lit this, and we'll see how long it burns, and we'll show you how big the flame gets. All right, it is now 10:04. This has been going for about almost 2 minutes. As you can see, the flame is starting to grow a little bit. So it doesn't light extremely fast, but it does do a nice steady flame. So let's wait another couple minutes and see how it's doing then. Okay, it's now 10:06, and I would say that it is in full burn. It's now been going about 4 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes, and I would say that this is a good little fire. It would be good to start a fire. So let's see how long total it burns for. Okay, it is now 10:10. And you can see that it is still burning right along. It's a nice steady flame. Like I said, it's not like a real fast flame. It's just a nice steady burn, and it seems to work really well. It is now 10:15, and as you can see, it's still burning. All right, I'm gonna do a little time lapse so you can watch it burn. Okay, it is now 10:25. It's been just over 20 minutes, and you can see there's still just a little bit of flame left, but I would say that it's definitely used up. So there you go. I mean, this is a fire starter that lasts a good solid 20 minutes. So I hope you put it to good use and enjoy.